Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Lucky Buns, and in today's video we're going to be going through some PvP battles in Pokémon GO Battle League. So before we get started, I do actually have a few things that I'd like to go over, but in case you guys just want to skip ahead to the team composition or to the battles, I'm going to leave some timestamps in the comment section down below, as well as on the video itself, so feel free to skip ahead if you want to. Anyways though, two things I want to talk about first before we go ahead and get started here is going to be the video length moving forward for these GBL videos, as well as the style of the content. So recently in a poll, I did ask you guys how long you kind of wanted these GBL videos to be, and most of you ended up voting between about 10 to 20 minutes. So moving forward, the videos are going to be anywhere from about 10 to 25 minutes, with about 30 minutes being the maximum. Now in regards to the style of the content, and this is just kind of based on my own experience hitting Legend twice in Pokémon GO Battle League, I'm going to be doing a different approach than some of the other PvP YouTubers when it comes to showcasing a team, because I really feel like more than just having a unique team to use every once in a while, it is really important to learn how one specific team operates rather than learning how to play like 10 different teams kind of mediocre. So this is a really big thing, especially when it comes down to just the change in the meta. You know, I want to showcase a variety of battles that go through tons of different team compositions. That way you guys can get a good idea in terms of how you should play if you want to go ahead and replicate the teams that I'm using in my videos. So essentially I'm going to be running Gengar, Obstagoon, and Talonflame. Talonflame is going to be the only extra large Pokemon in this team, but it was a community day Pokemon, so it should be fairly accessible to many of you. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the IVs right now. Gengar is really the only one with like solid PvP IVs. The IV spread on Gengar is going to be 1-14-13. The IV spread on Obstagoon is a little bit different because it's actually a lucky Pokemon. It's going to be 13-14-13, so this Obstagoon could be much better. But quite honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I've definitely made this Obstagoon work, and sometimes, you know, you can't always get ideal PvP IVs. You just want to go for the lucky, especially if you are low on Stardust. Not that I'm low on Stardust by any means, but I found it kind of difficult to get a PvPi version of Obstagoon when Zigzagoon or Glaring Zigzagoon has only been available from raids and eggs. So yeah, take it for what it is. And then Talonflame is going to have an IV spread of 15-15-14. So this is essentially the same as the Hundo. It gets the same stat product, which basically means that if I run up against another Talonflame, I'm pretty much going to have the same exact result, and it's going to come down to a CMP tie. So I went ahead and I maxed this out to level 50. This is my first level 50 Pokemon, and Talonflame is honestly super OP with Flame Charge in this meta, and then also Brave Bird, if you know how to use it. So with that being said, the movesets on these Pokemon, Gengar is going to have Shadow Claw, Shadow Punch, and Sludge Bomb. So for Open Ultra League, Shadow Ball is actually a little bit more of a common choice, but I wanted Sludge Bomb for the Fairy type Pokemon. And again, this is my own personal take on these Pokemon. You can run Shadow Ball if you want to, but for this specific lineup, I went with Sludge Bomb. And then for Obstagoon, we're going to have Counter, Night Slash, and Cross Chop. Now again, for the Fairies, sometimes people will run Gunk Shot instead. I went ahead and I used Cross Chop. I found it was a little bit more consistent, especially if I ran into a Registeel. And then finally on Talonflame, we're going to have Incinerate, Flame Charge, and Brave Bird. So with that being said, that is going to be the team breakdown for this video, as well as the next two videos moving forward. We do have a lot of battles to go through, but hopefully by the end of this, you should have a decent idea in terms of how to actually play this team, in case you want to run it during the next Open Ultra League rotation. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the battles right now. We're going to be running them at about 2 times speed. So first up, we have a Cresselia matchup against the Gengar. So ideally in this situation, I want to go for the bait with potentially Shadow Ball. So we're going to charge up to about Sludge Bomb range. It's going to be the same count as Shadow Ball, and we're going to throw the Shadow Punch. Now, I also went ahead and avoided the shield on their Moonblast right there because I knew it wasn't enough for a future sight. This also kind of implies that they may be running Grass Knot as well. So we're going to go ahead and throw that second second Shadow Punch there, and that was actually able to burn off their second shield. So they also threw Grass Knot as well. So basically we're in a really good situation right now with 2 shields. We can come in with Talonflame because the biggest threat to Talonflame is going to be Future Sight from Cresselia, which at this point we know that they don't have. So we're just going to take advantage of this moment right now, go for the Flame Charge, get the extra energy moving forward for the rest of the match, and hopefully Talonflame can kind of carry us through this. We do have 2 shields available, and we don't take any immediate threats from Cresselia, so we're definitely looking good moving forward. With Cresselia down, we throw a Flame Charge immediately, and it ends up being a Defense Deoxys. So with a super boost now going on Talonflame, I go ahead and launch the Brave Bird. And boom, we take out the Defense Deoxys, and then they have a Registeel in the back. So this Registeel and the Defense Deoxys are extra large Pokemon, definitely on the pay-to-play side. And we're actually looking pretty good in this matchup, just given everything that we've done so far. triple legendary team, double extra large legendary, and then with counter and cross chop, we're absolutely able to take this down with 2 shields available on Obstagoon, you know, just in case. Even if they ended up baiting us with the flash cannon, we would have been fine in that match. So there you go, first match done with the team, definitely solid. We were able to get those baits, and that honestly helped out so much. Moving on over to our second match here, we have a shiny Registeel lead. So this one's actually a little bit tough for Gengar. Even if we did have Shadow Ball, it wouldn't do super effective damage against Registeel, so it doesn't really pose any immediate threats to get some bait shields off, which is generally like a big play with Gengar. We're kind of just going to have to tank this flash cannon. Hopefully, you know, Obstagoon and Talonflame can carry us throughout this match. We're just going to throw another Shadow Punch here to kind of get off some chip damage, and they actually swap into Giratina Altered before Gengar goes down. So now we have the opportunity to come in with Obstagoon and go for some Night Slashes and hopefully get a boost. Okay, so we couldn't get the boost that time, it's alright. Giratina doesn't pose a major threat, but it is very, very spammy, especially with Dragon Claw. So we do have to be careful here because it can honestly accumulate damage very, very fast. But so far so good, we're just going to keep going for the Night Slashes with Obstagoon, hopefully try and get the boost. Honestly, a little bit RNG there, but they're actually not shielding, and we did get that boost that second time. So we're actually in a really, really solid position moving forward. Once again, we're just going to continue to farm up energy here. We don't really need to, you know, shield this at the moment because Talonflame with 2 shields could carry us through the rest of the match. Especially against that Registeel, we should be fine. So again, they still have 2 shields. We're chilling with Obstagoon, kind of almost dead here. And then they come back in with the Registeel. So we go for the cross chop immediately. This should definitely get us a shield, or it actually doesn't get us a shield. And because they had Cresselia in the back, we are very comfortable assuming that Cresselia doesn't have Future Sight. But even then, guys, we just got a shield right there. So 2 shields with Talonflame, Cresselia, and Registeel are still left in the match. We should be okay. Again, really assuming that they don't have a Future Sight right now. We're going to find out if they do. If they have a Future Sight, this could be tricky. So they threw Moonblast, which means they do not have a Future Sight. So at this point, I go ahead and throw the Flame Charge. We do need to build up some energy gain here and also some damage. So we're going to go for another Flame Charge. I know that if I keep stacking these Flame Charges, like the boost is going to carry me through the rest of this match. We have 2 shields left. We are definitely very comfortable. And again, they don't have Future Sight. Future Sight would actually pose a very solid threat to us. And of course, perfect timing, they swap into Registeel just as we launch another Flame Charge. So using up that second shield right there, very, very comfortable. We can farm them down, but we actually run out of time. Now, this doesn't happen too often, but with that triple legendary team, especially the Registeel and the Cresselia, that was a timeout team for sure. They're very, very tanky Pokemon. All right, moving on over to our third match here, we have an Empoleon lead. Once again, kind of a tricky Pokemon to deal with. Swampert definitely falls into the same category, but we can potentially get off a bait shield right now with that Shadow Ball charge up, and we thankfully did get that bait shield. I know that they're probably going to throw a Hydro Cannon here very soon, or a Drill Pack, honestly doesn't really matter, but we were able to get off that Shadow Punch before they did, meaning that we didn't have to waste that second shield. Now at this point we come in with the Obstagoon, they quick swap into the Togekiss, and that is actually perfect for us because now we have swap advantage with Talonflame. We're going to get a decent amount of, you know, damage accumulation with the boost right here, and we can essentially just farm Togekiss down. We're just going to have to shield it once, right, for the potential Ancient Power. It could have been Aerial Ace, but I don't really know why they would do that. Now unfortunately, they got the boost, so with the boost, this does make things a little bit trickier. But we also have a double boost going for ourselves as well. And we were able to sneak a Incinerate into Empoleon right there at the end, which is why I actually went ahead and used another shield. So with the Flame Charge right there, Gengar doesn't have shields left, coming with the Obstagoon. As long as Gengar doesn't have Focus Blast, we're pretty solid, and even if it does, we're going to get to the Night Slash way before it gets to a Focus Blast. So we ended up getting hit with a Shadow Ball right there. Honestly, not the biggest deal in the world. We throw the Night Slash, and that is going to be the match. Let's go to move on over to our next match here. We have an Alolan Ninetales lead, so this is actually really solid for Gengar. Gengar actually takes this matchup. We're just going to go for the Sludge Bomb straight up. You know, there's really no reason to go for a bait right now, because Gengar just has to shield one Weather Ball, and it'll actually get to a second Sludge Bomb, which then gives them the option to either shield and burn off their second shield, or actually just let their Alolan Ninetales go down. We'll see what they do right now. They actually let their Alolan Ninetales go down. So I'm happy with this. Honestly, moving forward, I think we're pretty good. They come in with the Mandibuzz right now though, and honestly, I kind of make a mistake here. I go for a Shadow Punch instead of immediately swapping into the Obstagoon. That was a big mistake that is ultimately going to cost me later on in the match, but we'll keep going right now. So Politoed against Obstagoon. I'm really glad I didn't swap into Talonflame because that would have just ended this match so much faster. So we're going to go for the boost right now on the Obstagoon. They're just going for Weather Balls, so I'm happy with that too because they could honestly be trying to bait me with the Earthquake. It might have worked. It might have actually gotten me to burn a shield. But we're just going for the Night Slashes here. We got the boost. We're looking good. You know, against the Mandibuzz with Talonflame, we should be okay. We should be okay. So they come in with the Mandibuzz right now, and unfortunately, I stay in the match with Talonflame. I'm sorry, I stay in the match with Obstagoon. I was going to say Talonflame. I stay in the match here, and I really shouldn't have done that. I should have swapped to Talonflame immediately and then just gone for a Brave Bird. That would have been more than enough. I go for a Flame Charge here, and yeah, I don't know, man. Definitely not the best choices, and you guys are going to see right here, I make a crucial mistake. You know, even going for the Flame Charges, that's okay, but what I did right here is that I shielded the Aerial Ace. I shouldn't have done that. Because now going into the Politoed fight, I don't have a shield, and I really need a shield. Like, I got an Incinerate off. If I had the shield, I would have been able to just KO Politoed either with Flame Charge or Brave Bird. And the Gengar barely misses Politoed on that last hit, so I made a few crucial mistakes in that match that definitely cost it for me. Like, I had the lead advantage with the Alolan Ninetales, but you know, one too many mistakes, guys. One too many mistakes. Anyways, though, with that being said, let's move on over to our fifth match here. We have a Talonflame lead, so kind of a tricky one to deal with, especially if it does get those flame charges going. This can absolutely destroy our Gengar. Now for this matchup, I do like to just go for the Sludge Bomb directly. Sometimes they don't shield it, sometimes they do shield it, depending on if they do or they don't. We kind of have to play things out a little bit differently. So they actually go ahead and throw Brave Bird. I'm not really sure why they threw Brave Bird. That was kind of stupid in my opinion. Then they swap into Empoleon, so we definitely have swap advantage at this point with Obstagoon here. So we're honestly sitting pretty comfortable. We can tank a Hydro Cannon, we're totally chilling, and the reason that I'm going for the Night Slashes and not the Cross Chops is because I'm trying to get the boost. Honestly, against Empoleon, Night Slash or Cross Chop is honestly pretty solid, so you're definitely okay in that department, but unfortunately we could not get any boosts and they come in with the Alolan Muck. Now again, they don't have any shields left. We have one shield with the Talonflame. We're looking pretty good. They throw Sludge Wave, which is actually one of the heaviest hits Alolan Muck can throw. And then we go ahead and we charge up for a Flame Charge there, get a little bit of a boost, actually get one Incinerate through. So of course, with the boost and the Incinerate through, I knew that I could shield that. Then when they bring their Talonflame back in, we have enough energy gain for the Brave Bird, throw that bad boy, and we are essentially really solid moving forward out of that match. So yeah, that's essentially that one in a nutshell. That one was a little bit tricky though with the Talonflame. I will admit that had they maybe gone for Flame Charge instead of the Brave Bird, they could have potentially won that matchup, and then they also switch locked themselves with Empoleon, so it wasn't the best thing given our team composition, but hey, that's a 4-1, we will take it. Anyways, though, let's move on over to our next set here. Let's see what we got first. We have a Cresselia, a shiny Cresselia, I might add. So you guys already know the deal with Cresselia. We're going to go for the potential Shadow Ball bait here with the Shadow Punch. Let's see if we can burn off a shield. We do not get that first shield, unfortunately. We are just going to go ahead and tank this hit, not worried about our shields. All right, let's go for another potential Shadow Ball bait here. Let's see if we can get it. Most likely they will shield this, but they actually don't. So this puts me in a very tricky position because now they have two shields going into the rest of the matchup. I have to actually burn a shield right there. I mean, I didn't have to burn a shield, but I figured that might come in handy later. Now, right here, I take a massive gamble. Like, this is a huge risk, guys. I assume that they didn't have Cross Chop. Like I previously mentioned earlier on in the video, the common moveset for Obstagoon is actually Night Slash and Gunk Shot. And they actually did a perfect sack swap to avoid the Cross Chop right there. So really solid plays by my opponent. But with Mewtwo running Psycho Cutter, actually I think it's running Confusion, we're not going to take any damage really. So we're honestly pretty solid until they actually throw a charge move, which they actually get to before we get to our second Night Slash. So of course I just let Obstagoon go down. We have one shield left. I come in with the Gengar. We throw that Shadow Punch immediately. They can either shield this or let it go. They're going to actually focus all of their efforts onto their Obstagoon, which was probably not the smartest choice because we had Talonflame in the back. Of course, they didn't know that. Maybe they thought we had Empoleon or something like that. I'm not really sure what was going through their head, but it was probably just not a good decision. We have an Alolan Ninetales, so you guys know the drill on this one. We're just going to go for the Sludge Bombs directly, not even going to try and bait them out. There really isn't any point to bait them. We'll definitely win this matchup, but we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. They actually decided not to shield it, so I found that really surprising. Usually most people will shield that, but they decided not to. You know, even if it was a Shadow Ball, that would have done a decent amount of damage. Now, when they came in with the Swampert, we actually got a few free hits, you know, for whatever reason. Maybe they just lagged out or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, it was pretty good, though. And even then, right there, when we come in with the Obstagoon, I don't know if they're just not paying that much attention or if it's lag. It definitely is most likely lag, though. And we actually get the boost on that Night Slash. Now at this point, I'm fairly confident they didn't have enough for an Earthquake, so I wasn't really too concerned. Their last Pokemon ended up being a Talonflame, so this could honestly be pretty tricky because that Talonflame does also have 2 shields. I mean, now it has 1 shield because for whatever reason they decided to shield that Night Slash hit. I'm not sure why. But either way, they went for the shield right there. Let's see if they go for a second shield. They do. Now again, they're assuming that Night Slash was going to be pretty powerful, but with 1 shield available for us and enough energy gain for a Brave Bird, we pretty much have this match in the bag, especially since they threw a Brave Bird at us and their defense was debuffed. But even if their defense wasn't debuffed, that Brave Bird would have KO'd at that range. Moving on over to our third match of the set here, we're going to have a Giratina Altered Form lead. So this is actually a really tricky matchup for Gengar because it is very dependent on actually getting the baits off Giratina. So we do actually have to shield that first Dragon Claw because we have to obviously survive somehow. And then we're going to throw the Shadow Punch, trying to get the bait off right there with the shield. Thankfully we get the bait right there, which is really nice. We charge up to another potential Shadow Ball, throw the Shadow Punch. Thankfully we get off that second shield. That doesn't always happen. Honestly, most of the time they'll actually just burn off 1 shield, but they'll try to keep that second shield for something later on in the back. That person actually burned off both shields, so this is actually really good for us, because now we can let Gengar go down. We have 1 shield, come in with the Obstagoon, hit him with the Night Slash, and we'll see what they have in the back. Again, they don't have any shields right now, so they come in with a Registeel. This is pretty interesting right now because we have Talonflame and Obstagoon. Both do super effective damage against Registeel, but I also don't want to get switch locked. Now, I took a gamble right here. This could have been a Focus Blast. It was actually a Flash Cannon, and that was very, very convenient for us because that shield gives me a lot more flexibility moving forward with this match. Now with this Cresselia, I'm honestly not sure if they have Future Sight. They could definitely have Future Sight. They could have just been trying to burn off a shield right there with that Moonblast. But given the amount of energy it took to charge up to that, we can tell that they only have enough for the Moonblast. So we're going to get some extra energy gain right here. We're going to go for the Brave Bird, going to go for that KO with the Flame Charge boost. We get the KO right there, get 1 hit off, go for the Flame Charge against that Registeel, and we're actually pretty comfortable now with a shield left. So very, very good matchup right there. Again, with the extra large Registeel, kind of tricky to deal with. That was another triple legendary team, by the way. So we have another Talonflame lead. So let's go for that Sludge Bomb once again. We'll see if they end up deciding to shield it or not. Once again, it's very dependent on this. The match can go one way or the other. So they actually decided to shield the Sludge Bomb right there. So kind of similar to the matchup that we had before. Alright, we're going to keep moving forward. They went for the Flame Charge, unlike that last person who went for the Brave Bird, which is so random in my opinion. We go for the second shield right now. We're in a very uncomfortable position, honestly. Like, I hate being in the position with this specific team composition because, you know, you can definitely flip matches with 2 shields and Talonflame. But unfortunately, we did not have that luxury. Thankfully, though, we were able to take down their Talonflame and burn off their last shield with Gengar right there. So now we're in a pretty comfortable position. We're not going to throw the Brave Bird because that's going to be terrible for us. We should be able to tank out 1 Surf, though. Talonflame is actually pretty tanky in Ultra League, guys. So we tank out that 1 Surf right there, then we go for the Brave Bird. Again, that is a very, very strategic play because Brave Bird by itself would not KO. With the Flame Charge boost, though, that is a different story. Their last Pokemon ended up being a Tangrowth, which honestly, that just happened to work out really well for us, in my opinion. Like, that was just straight up luck. That could have gone a lot of different ways, but thankfully it worked out for us. And so with that being said, that's going to be the end of our set right there. We did have one more match that we ended up losing. Now normally when I include the losses in the video, I try to make it a learning experience. If I can't really teach you guys how to play that match better, I really just don't see a point to include the loss, so that is why I left that match out. But we do have more great matches coming up, so let's dive straight into it. Obstagoon. Okay, so very, very tricky matchup here because we have to immediately swap into something else. I safe swap into Talonflame. We're going to tank out this Night Slash, nothing to worry about. They did not swap though, which of course makes me think they don't have Empoleon or Swampert. I throw the Brave Bird here because I figured they probably were not going to shield that. And then they come in with the Gengar. We are able to get an Incinerate off as they threw their Shadow Punch, so I'm thinking I'll shield this, I'll throw a Flame Charge, we can probably burn off a shield right now. And thankfully I was right. At that point, Gengar takes down Talonflame, we come back in with the Obstagoon, they are locked in right now, and assuming they don't have Focus Blast, we can take advantage of the situation to farm up energy. They have Shadow Ball, so we're actually looking pretty solid right now. Gengar's looking good, Obstagoon's looking good, with energy by the way. Let's see what their final Pokemon is. It is Cresselia. So Cresselia against the Obstagoon with tons of energy. We swap back in with the Gengar right now. And hopefully they don't have Future Sight. I take the gamble right here. They have Moonblast instead. All right, we will take it. Now at this point, we're gonna try and burn off their last shield with the Shadow Punch here. We unfortunately could not get off that last shield, but we still get to another Shadow Punch, so they kind of have to decide what they're gonna do. They actually decide not to shield that, so we're also not gonna shield it because we're pretty comfortable right now, guys. We are pretty comfortable with Obstagoon and a ton of energy. Even against their Obstagoon, like, we're fine. We're honestly fine. So we go ahead and throw the Cross Chop. We're chilling right there. We throw the Night Slash. We have one shield against their Gengar. Like, they let their Obstagoon go down. The match is over. The only thing that they really had against us was Cresselia potentially, and they let that go down. They didn't even use up their shield. So moving on over to our next match here, we're actually going to go up against Iron Monkeys once again. For those who forgot about his team, he actually had Cresselia, Obstagoon, and Armored Mewtwo. And this guy also didn't take any of our baits last time. Now during present time, I don't really remember this, so of course I'm just gonna go with my same strategy that I always do. Go for those potential Shadow Ball baits, try to burn off their shields, and hopefully we'll at least get one. Now of course, it's Iron Monkeys, he's not gonna take any of it. Right there, we just go ahead and throw our second Shadow Punch. No shields were taken, I have to make a decision. I decided not to shield, I just completely took the gamble that Gengar was gonna go down. We ended up surviving. I was not expecting that, but yeah, that actually happened. I'm not sure if it was for the best or whatever, but we actually have swap advantage. So I'm gonna say, yeah, it's kind of for the best. Now, of course, at the time, I don't remember Iron Monkeys. I don't remember that he has an Armored Mewtwo in the back. So we're just gonna take advantage of the situation. We're gonna go for the Flame Charges on Talonflame. We have 2 shields right now. We are very, very comfortable moving forward. We are actually going to shield this Night Slash though, just because I do want to be a little bit more comfortable going into the rest of the matchup here. We swap into Obstagoon because I wanted to take out their Obstagoon and, you know, try to prevent them from throwing a move. They come in with the Armored Mewtwo. Now, of course, with the Obstagoon and Night Slash, we're okay. But for those who don't know, Armored Mewtwo usually has Dynamic Punch. We end up getting the boost. Of course, I know that they have Dynamic Punch. I shield it. They actually throw a Psy Strike. I was not expecting that. Honestly, I was really not expecting that. So we throw another Night Slash right there, we burn off one of their shields. I swap in with the Talonflame. Probably Dynamic Punch, right? Earthquake. So they actually didn't have Dynamic Punch on their Armored Mewtwo right there. They were running Earthquake instead. So at this point, they have a shield, we have Obstagoon. Can we do it, guys? Can we do it? We're gonna burn off their last shield right now, but we're cutting it pretty close. They actually decided to not shield it, mainly because they probably didn't have enough for another move. Understandable, understandable. Diving on over to our third match of the set, let's see what we got here. So we have a Shadow Swampert lead. Terrible, terrible lead for us, guys. Swampert lead is actually one of the worst leads against this team in my experience, so we go ahead and get up a little bit of energy on the Gengar, swap into the Obstagoon. Now Shadow Swampert actually does a bit more damage than regular Swampert, obviously. It also takes more damage, but Shadow Swampert actually has a much better edge against Obstagoon. Also, I don't have ideal PvP IVs, so that makes a massive difference as well against Shadow Swampert specifically. Anyways though, they come in with the Gyarados, we throw the Night Slashes, you know, we're trying to make the best out of the situation. It is not looking good right now. We get the boost. We get the boost. Now at this point, I can shield, or I can let it go down. I let it go down, I take the crunch, We come back in with Gengar, we farm down on the Gyarados. That was the right decision, by the way, because that energy is going to be really, really good against that Swampert. They come in with a Snorlax, though. Worst thing ever, guys. I have to come in with Talonflame right now. Their Shadow Swampert's almost dead, though. Like, we could potentially get through this right now. We could potentially get through this. They still have 2 shields, though. But we have Flame Charge. They quit, though. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't have to find out. I'm kind of glad they quit. Honestly, though, like, real talk here, I think they probably could have won that matchup because they had 2 shields left. So we have a Clefable lead. Best buddy Clefable. Excellent matchup for Gengar. Clefable is so much less of a threat compared to Alolan Ninetales in my opinion, and they actually end up swapping into Registeel, so even better for us because Flash Cannon and Focus Blast don't do nearly that much damage against Talonflame here, so we are good to farm up a bunch of energy, go back into that Clefable fight looking pretty solid. Now, one thing I want you guys to remember is that Clefable with Charm does a lot of damage uncontrolled, so that's why I actually shielded that Flash Cannon right there. It was a conscious decision, guys. It was a conscious decision. So at this point, we have full energy gain going into the Clefable fight right here. We can go ahead and throw 2 flame charges and try to burn off both of their shields. Hopefully they take off the second shield right now. Yes, boom, right there. And they are going to get to their charge move. We do have 1 shield. I'm going to go ahead and use it. They throw Meteor Mash. Wouldn't have been super effective, but it still would have KO'd Talonflame. We throw our final flame charge with a massive boost. They come back in with their own Talonflame. And I actually swap into Gengar before getting to my Brave Bird. I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough, and quite honestly, I wanted to make sure that I tried to get off at least enough damage right there, and also save Talonflame to kind of KO them in the end. But even then, guys, we still have Obstagoon, so we're looking pretty good right now. So of course we come back in with the Talonflame, Obstagoon's still full health, and here's my thinking right now. They can't get to a Brave Bird right now. They can't do it. They totally couldn't do it. Definitely starting to lose my voice right now, but let's go ahead and finish off strong with this final match. So we have a Talonflame lead to end things off. So like usual, guys, we're just going to go for that Sludge Bomb. Either they shield it or they don't shield it. The last 2 people in this video have both shielded against the Sludge Bomb here. They decide not to shield it, so that Talonflame takes that Sludge Bomb head on. Now right here, I decide to not shield. I decide that I actually just want to try and keep both of my shields for this match. Now we come back in and I actually make a really, really big mistake here. They only had enough for another flame charge. I shielded. I didn't have to shield that. I wasn't going to be a Brave Bird. But I miscounted and unfortunately that really sucked. But anyways, let's go and keep moving forward here. They come back in with Umbreon. Now of course Obstagoon is going to be an excellent counter against Umbreon, but they could have a Charmer in the back. I really didn't want to risk that. I really did not want to risk that. So we stick it out with Talonflame. We're continuing to go with the flame charges. And we're just trying to burn off their shields. They have 2 shields left. Honestly, with a Charmer in the back, they're going to easily take this match. So we go ahead and we charge up more energy on Talonflame, then we swap into the Obstagoon. And then they come back in with an Abomasnow. So we are actually pretty good right now. We're actually pretty good. We have Cross Chop. We don't have any shields, but we can definitely try and burn off both of their shields. Weather Belt isn't going to do too much damage against Obstagoon there, so we're honestly okay. We throw another Cross Chop, we burn off one of their shields. We're looking okay, guys. This is doable at this point. Alright, Swap Clock is done. We come back in with Talonflame, throw the Flame Charge immediately, burn their second shield. Now, with the Umbreon, they did not have enough energy for a foul play. If they did, they would have won the match. Because they didn't, we won the match, because we got extra energy gain for Talonflame, allowing us to take down their Abomasnow. And boom, that right there is a 5-0, my friends. So with that being said, that is going to conclude the battles for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy them. Hopefully you learned something from them. Open Ultra League is going to come back into rotation very soon, so I would start getting ready for that. I will hopefully have some more videos showcasing this team a little bit later. I still have a lot of battles to go through, and believe it or not, commentating on these battles takes a really, really long time. Anyways, though, I'm not going to drag this out. If you guys ended up enjoying the battles, please make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and I will see you all real soon in the next one.